What a Wild Spirit Brings by Lil, Chapter 59. And a look it was, a look of understanding, washing instantly into horror. Gam's eyes were so wide, lip trembling, a hand clutching at her stomach. Lil wished she could tell the Haldani she wasn't aware, somehow could explain that it wasn't as if she could control her body in a dream, but none of that would change that Lil enjoyed the dream, none of that would erase the truth. Finally, after what felt an eternity, the Haldani slowly took on her Haldani calm. She stood poised and lovely, face smooth, with her hand still on her waist. Lil, did you make that dream? Lil vehemently shook her head, saying, No, no, I would never. I tried to stop, but once a dreamer has you in their dream, you cannot control yourself, having become a part of their mind and their consciousness. I was aware. I could feel it. But though I swear I tried, I could not keep from raping, from... She couldn't even finish. She knew as she did she would admit to having had pleasure in the action. She trembled, eyes again downcast. I would never rape you, Gimp. After a second, Lil felt arms come around her, her face pressing against Gift's shoulder as the woman embraced her, sobbing, renewed as the Haldani stroked her hair with one hand, other arm squeezing her tightly. Lil could hear the pounding heartbeat through Gimp's chest, could smell her sweet scent, reminding her of the scent in the dreams, could not escape her mourning. Gimp just held her for a few moments, then whispered, I know you would never hurt me. I know. Lil couldn't answer, could only cry more. But she felt Gimp starting to tremble, felt her friend's tears leaking into her hair, heard the choked-up voice trying to speak around sobs of her own. It was my dream. I'm so sorry you were hurt by knowing my mind. I am so sorry. And Lil moved, quickly clutching her friend, being the one doing the holding now, petting Gimp's hair. Oh, no, Gimp, no, I'm the one who invaded your dream. People don't control what they dream. You are innocent. Gimp just shook her head into Lil's shoulder, face against Lil's neck, muttering over and over that she was sorry. Lil hugged her until they both stopped crying, and lifting their eyes to meet each other, smiling sadly at each other, they wiped one another's tears away before letting go. The food was all cold, but they still ate it, both sitting on the edges of the table, and just smiled at each other as they consumed mutton and vegetables and pie. Lil was so glad she could still keep Gimp as a friend. She couldn't imagine not having the Haldani in her life. They finally rose and started walking again, no longer apart but side by side again. They hadn't gotten far before Lil promised Gimp that she would never enter her dreams again without permission. Gimp nodded acceptance, smile lessening for a moment, but only a moment. Gimp opened her mouth, and then there was a thundering in the distance that both women noticed at once. It was rhythmic and reverberated through the tongues as it grew nearer. Gimp started to withdraw to a hiding place, but Lil crouched, and hunched so, began to move toward the noise. What if it's a dragon? Gimp whispered to her. What if it's an Ungar? Lil whispered back. So the women darted from one tongue to the next, trying to stay hidden, yet moved through to the ruckus as swiftly as possible. The closer they came, the more pebbles and dust were starting to cascade down from the spires. Just when the air was becoming too thick with particles to continue, the makers, came into view. At least 20 Ungar, all marching together, all brandishing tremendous tridents, spears, and clubs, were marching in time north. Lil jumped out, waving her arm, eager to greet them, and the giants all stopped, some lifting weapons, but Ondel stepped forward from the group, kneeling on one knee to meet her. You are well? Oh, I am glad, little Entha. Oh, yes, we're very well. Then you have not encountered the Mitchin? We did, but the Mitchin are gone now. They were shipwrecked. Ondel was confused. You spoke with them? Yes, I made them a ship to sail home on. The giant paused to absorb this, and then finally tilted back his head and burst out laughing. The others joined him. Gimp came up beside Lil as the roar of laughter died down. You are very well named, little brave one, Ondel said as he calmed down. Lil grinned and replied, So I have been told. You will not be needing our help fighting them off, then, I suppose. I will take you back to the seat of Tri, where Blacksea is headed now to lead an Entha troop here. Ferg, take the Haldani to the edge of the Greenlands. She will be wanting to return to the Power and report. Ferg stepped forward, and Lil turned to Gimp, saddened. She hadn't even thought about that. After this mission, she might not be with Gimp anymore. Thoughts started racing in her of, what if I never see her again? And would she want to keep in touch? And report to the Power means she has to tell her about me and the treaty with the Mitchin. And so Lil was wrought with worry and grief. Gimp, seeing the demeanor of her friend, reached out and warmly drew Lil close, holding her tightly. "We will meet again, I promise, if I have to return to Yedem looking for you. I was so glad to share this journey with you, Lil." "Oh, Gimp, I'm so sad to see you go, but I know you have the college as your home. I'll miss you, though, and I'll never forget what a friend you've been to me." Gimp squeezed her a little more, and then turned to Ferg, and the Onger lifted the Heldani, and away they went. Ondel took Lil to his shoulder, but she was barely aware of his plotting. Gimp was gone, and she felt somewhat hollow without her company. She had become quite accustomed to Gimp always being there. Now, surrounded only by giants, she felt out of place. But Gimp had said that she would come to Yedem and see her. That was something. At least the woman still wanted to remain friends.